Hey everyone, Georgie here with Ukraine Matters. Russia is exploding to a scale not yet seen in this war. There are explosions some people are even comparing to basically nuclear powered ones. We're going to talk about that and we're going to talk about some other things. I have just come back from a very productive work trip to Germany, so I'm making this video very quick to get you up to speed what is happening. The proper update and more videos about the 2025 are coming very, very soon. The most explosive topic that has been up in the news in the recent couple of days, and even now as I'm recording this video, is the Ukrainian strikes on a deep Russian ammunition storage facilities. Huge facilities where Russia stored a lot of their freshly produced ammunition, where they stored a lot of the ammunition that are being prepared to strike and go towards the Ukrainian front lines, and a lot of the ammunition that is coming from the Russian allies. For example, we for sure know that some of the North Korean missiles that have been sent to Russia are now burned. So in total, we know of 3 plus kind of 1 strikes against the Russian facilities in the last couple of days. The first one was the one that made all of the news. It was a strike against a Russian facility in a Tver region. It is quite north from Ukraine, and it's a facility that has been known to Ukrainians. The problem with that facility is that that facility contained a lot of bunkers that contained a lot of that ammunition, and so far any attempts of Ukrainians to strike that facility deep were not successful. However, it has now been confirmed, and we now can say why suddenly Ukrainians are striking these facilities with such a big success is the use of the Palanitsa drone from the Ukrainian armed forces. If you can remember, just recently Ukrainians have unveiled their new type of long-range drone that is a mix between a drone and a jet missile. It's been classified all this time. How far exactly can this drone strike? What is the penetration of this drone capability-wise? And can it be bringing any kind of benefits to the front line? Well, now with a big bam, we can for sure say that the way that this drone has introduced itself to this battlefield has been indeed explosive. Okay, I'm going to stop with the explosion puns anymore. But the first facility that Ukrainians have struck was in Toropets in Tver region. And what's notable about this facility is some of the estimates suggest that there was about 30,000 tons of ammunition stored in these warehouses. So far, the understanding is that about 70% of these bunkers that contain the ammunition, they have been destroyed. And there are reports that something is still burning there, but it's not confirmed yet, and we don't really know. The point is, the explosion was so big, which unfortunately I cannot show you the video of because of the YouTube policies. Again, join the Discord for all of the videos that I'm going to be referencing today. We have special channels that we get all of these videos, and you can watch it and understand more context on what I'm saying. But the blast was so big that it was not only noted by the video, by the huge explosion cloud, basically like a nuclear blast, this huge mushroom cloud, but it was also detected by the seismic activity sensors in Belarus, stating that it was about 2.8 on the Richter scale magnitude earthquake that was detected in this area. And over than that, there are images that are circulating that supposedly this explosion was big enough to be seen from space. Put it in a perspective. And this is not an accurate perspective. This is just to kind of get you thinking about the size of that explosion. The payload of the nuclear bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima was 16 kilotons, which is 16,000 tons of TNT. On this yard, there was about 30,000 tons of explosives. Obviously, it's not all the TNT, a lot of it is also metal, but it gives you a comparison that once there was this bigger explosion, this could easily have been mistaken for a nuclear blast, and quite a significant one at that. Additional perspective that is being used to convey just how much is 30,000 tons, because I want to underscore just how big of a blow it is that 30,000 tons of ammunition like this is about a yearly worth of Russian ammunition productions. It's a lot. It's a lot, a lot, a lot. It's a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. And that was just one of the explosion. Then there was explosion number two, which has been reported in the same region. It's actually not that far away from the previous warehouse, just 16 kilometers away, actually. And there was again a huge explosion, a smaller one than the previous one, and we don't have right now the estimates just how much of the weaponry was there. Videos on my channel and so on. And what you see here, so this is the NASA satellite firm's data, which it has been made to register forest fires, to detect forest fires, and it has been used throughout this war to detect where there has been major fires, to detect where there have been major strikes. As you can see, under all of these red squares that are indicating big fires, there is this facility outlined that was struck. And as we can see, the whole facility is pretty much completely burning. Another note that was about this facility is that in this facility there was a lot less of bunkers, and a lot of the ammunition was stored in sort of like a semi-open format with little to no defense against the potential drone strikes. Moreover, we're not done yet. Another big facility, again, we don't have the full data about how much exactly, but the explosions are comparable to what was happening in Toropets, is explosion in a Krasnodar Krai, which is kind of from Ukraine towards the south direction. And that facility, again, with a huge explosion, went up in flames. We're still looking for more information on what has burned. And as you can see here, not only the artillery storage has been struck by Ukrainians, but also the airfield that was right next to it. To sum up, in the recent couple of days, Ukrainians, by the use of their newly acquired jet drones, have destroyed significant amounts of ammunition that Russia has. Obviously, Russia has a lot more ammunitions, and striking these depots only will help temporarily. However, my hope is that these strikes will not stop, and these will force the Russian logistics even further deeper into Russia. It will again delay potential for the Russian offensives. I am hoping that in the next coming weeks, we will see, hopefully, finally, the slowdown of the Russian offensive on the front lines, just because these storages have been used directly to feed the frontline soldiers of the Russian military. And the frontline soldiers of the Russian military are not having a good time either. They have been pushed to try to get as much as they can before the weather in Ukraine gets worse. We have additional information that Russia is pulling troops from the ships that have been struck by the Ukrainian naval drones and now being repaired. So the crew from those ships are being taken from the ships. They're giving weapons, they're set on some of the armor, and they're being sent on the front lines. That repair technicians that used to work on the Russian repair bases are again now being pulled from the repair bases, and in the same way being sent directly to help assault Ukrainian positions. Russia is pulling a lot of effort just to try to keep up the offensive. And again, a lot of analysts are extremely baffled by the fact that Russia is doing it, because Russian army is not infinite, and we're going to touch about it in just a second. But the point is that with the continuing assaults, we now have more and more reports from the Ukrainian armed forces that, for example, near the village of New York, Ukrainians were able to inflict very serious damage on the Russians, destroying approximately 20 units of equipment and again stopping serious onslaught. That we've seen that around the Kurakhove sector of the Ukrainian armed forces, with the video, there was a effort to try to do significant assault with the Russian forces on armor, which was again dealt with. The enemy used 52 armored vehicle, as mentioned here. Moreover, again, 2 days of assaults and 27 units of equipment and about a company of the enemy was met and destroyed. A lot of it has been destroyed by the Ukrainian armed forces. And again, video is attached, but you should go to the Discord channel. The point that I'm making is Russia is really pushing all in. They really want to exploit as they see that Ukrainians are struggling with the supplies from the Western powers, and they're still trying to push right now to make sure that they can get as much as possible before the weather really kicks in Ukraine and makes the advances much, much slower. And Ukrainians are responding very, very loudly. It's been heard and noticed even by the seismic sensors. And to finalize this point, what I want to underscore once again is that while Russian military is big, while Russian military has been big, this is something that Cover Cabal just did. He released a new video where they counted the Tod artillery, and he noted just how much the Tod artillery diminished. So the point that I'm making is that while Russia does have a lot of stuff, it is not infinite. It will end. Russia will run out of equipment because the way that Russia is losing that equipment is unsustainable. I know it is really problematic for us all to see it right now, but Ukrainian armed forces are doing an incredible job of destroying a lot of the Russian equipment. And while we can say that, yes, I understand that Russia still is looking to get more soldiers, there is a new decree that came out saying that additional 180,000 troops need to be put up in the Russian military. I get all of that. What I'm stating is that the troops need ammunition and artillery to fire that. They do need tanks to try to do these assaults. They need more and more ammunition to try to attack Ukraine, to try to get towards Ukrainian positions. But Ukraine is growing their capabilities. The allies are growing their production. And while Russia right now has indeed fielded a lot of their weapons from the stockpiles, and it feels that the advantage that Russia is having is overwhelming, it is temporary. Continue supporting Ukraine, and Ukraine will absolutely put the point to anything that resembles even a possibility of any kind of armored Russian assault. And right now, on the political aspects, there is a big discussion of Zelensky going to United States and presenting the victory plan. We are going to be following that story, and I'm going to definitely update you on this. But before I kind of say goodbye to you all for today and tell you that the new support campaign for the Ukrainian armed forces is coming very, very shortly, I want to ask my American friends to look into this and share in comments section if you know anything about this, because this section baffled me a lot. I don't want to dismiss this outright, but supposedly Pentagon and United States is saying that the stockpiles of United States is running short. Now, I understand when these headlines are about European Union states and Europe states, because we have not been investing in our defense at all, unfortunately. But if you're an American, tell me, what do you think about this? And tell me if you think this is a cop-out or there is actually some real calculations behind this. Because I will be again looking into these topics, but it is baffling response to say at best. In any case, I love you, Slava Ukraini, and I see you next time.